Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be sharing with you one single tip. It's the #1 piece of advice that helped me figure out how to stylize my portraits. I can do future videos going into multiple smaller tips, but I really just wanted to focus on this main one right now. And before I talk about it, I wanted to point out really quick that when I edited this video, I kept the first minute in real time. I decided not to speed it up just so you can see how slow I actually sketch. I personally feel like when we watch so many speed paints, we start to think that people actually draw that fast, and it can create insecurities in ourselves, or at least me personally. I always feel like I have to go so quick when I draw because of all these speed paints I'm watching, but take your time with your art and enjoy the process. Okay, so my personal #1 tip is reference. Okay, wait, before you click out of the video because you've already heard this a million times, wait. It's not just finding a reference, it's finding two kinds of references. One is a real life photo, and then the other is a piece of art in the style that you'd like to learn from. Here's an example. This is the photo reference I used for this painting. It's a real person, a model, and I really liked her face. But these are the stylistic references I used when drawing it. What do I mean by used? Well, I would look at the photo reference of the model when drawing my character, and then I would look at these art pieces to decipher how to stylize it. I would look at how big the eyes are, how things are shaded, how they treated hard strokes versus soft strokes. And what really helped is finding a stylistic reference that had similar lighting and angle as the photo. For the longest time, I would simply use photo references, and then my art would either come out looking exactly like the person with no stylization, basically just a realistic portrait, or it would come out really stiff and too stylized, where like the eyes were massive or the nose was super tiny, because I wasn't really sure how big or small to shrink these things. And by looking at other pieces of art where it's stylized, you can kind of get a grasp on how they're treating the features. If you don't want to draw too closely to one style, then maybe find multiple styles and look at multiple of them while you're drawing. I think the most important part of this process is making sure that all your references are in the same angle, or at least very similar angles. So if you're drawing a profile view, make sure your references are in the profile view. Same with 3/4. You want to make sure it's in the same angle, that way you know how to treat the shading and draw what you see. I've definitely made the mistake before where my references were different angles, and so when looking at them, my brain like combined all these angles, so then I would get really weird results and totally whack proportions. And you shouldn't ever feel like this is cheating or stealing, because in no way are you recreating someone else's art and copying it one for one. You're just taking inspiration from how they drew. When it comes to art, you have to take inspiration from real life and what other people have already made. And I mean, this can get really deep, because like you get inspired from movies, the color palettes, the characters. You get inspired from video games, the special effects, the character costumes. All these things inspire you to create something. So nothing is truly 100% original, so don't be afraid to take inspiration from what's already out there. It took me a while to realize this. I felt like I always had to sit down and stare at a blank page and just draw from my mind, and my art would come out so wonky. I find myself being a lot happier now that I'm looking at references and other artists. So I hope this can help anyone out there who also felt like that. So that's really it. Find photo references, but also find art styles that inspire you. I hope that this helped, because when I found this out, I was suddenly able to create believable yet stylized characters, and nobody ever told me this. Like, out of all the videos I've ever watched over the years, I never got this piece of advice. So in case anyone else was wondering, I just wanted to share what I personally think is the one thing that really helped me. I hope this can make a difference for someone out there. So I'm just gonna let the speed paint play now. If you're interested in watching the process, you can stick around. If you are interested in seeing any more of my art or other socials, check the description. And until next time, bye!